Morning Drive.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
I'm cool. Hey, you kids, let's get down. Get funky.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Love listening to you on my way into work and
All right, we get the point. We're more worried about breakfast right now, okay?
the fans are delirious.
Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Channel 90.
Get it all over yourself, boys and girls. Here you go.
Now, the Morning Drive with Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone.
Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, live and on the air for this Friday morning, January 27th, 2023. Mike Bagley here in Del Marvelous Studio 1D. We've got Pistol Pete Pistone in the Paisan Palace in Chicago. We've got Sammy and Melvin in Studio 134 of the Beltway Bureau in our nation's capital. We welcome each and every one of you to this Friday morning, and happy end to the work week to you, Triple P.
Well, good morning, Bagman. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to one
Thank
and all.
God.
Weekend is here. I'm already coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. I've already been on WLS Radio here in Chicago talking about the street race, and I'm ready to go for one of my favorite days of the year on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Track President's Day. And then we're going to have a lot of those track presidents with us this morning here on TMD, pal.
More on that to come.
Right.
However,
Right.
speaking, like for instance, bottom of the hour, we'll have Craig Rust of the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. He's on pole position. And speaking of poles.
Do what?
Huh?
Speaking of poles. Things are getting rough in Philadelphia because, as you know, Sunday is the big NFC Championship game. They have already started putting the barricades up downtown, or excuse me, in Center City.
Right.
And they, last night, started greasing the poles in Center City, Philadelphia.
Give me
Big
that
weekend.
Get your minds out of the gutter, all of you.
Just give
Big
me that
weekend.
one
I'm
more
talking
time.
about the light poles that are in the city that, for whatever reason, the
Yeah.
celebration mode in Philadelphia is we have to climb the poles on the corners of streets and wave our hands like we just don't care when we get to the top of them. So they literally are using cans of Crisco to grease these poles. However, I don't know how they're doing it, but you get some that are able to push through all that Crisco and still climb the pole. I don't know what it is with the pole climbing, but they're taking measures right now in Philadelphia to safeguard against that.
So it's funny you brought this up. Yesterday here in Chicago, we celebrated the anniversary of the Bears winning the Super Bowl against the Patriots in 1986. That happened yesterday, 1986. So they had a lot of video, obviously, of what went on that day with the celebration. I don't remember seeing anybody up on the poles, up and down where the route of the parade was. I just didn't see anybody.
I've
Maybe
never
I missed
seen it in any other city.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with Philadelphia in this. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on there. Now, here's also another thing too. So again, they're getting a little cocky. They're already talking about the parade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, you got a little more work to do. And the mayor of Philadelphia has already said, Pep, I'm going out. So we're going to blow it out. So I don't care what they spend. I'm like, all right then. City council would object to that comment.
All right. Well, again, don't take the hats to victory lane quite yet.
Again,
right?
Well, they're there. They're standing at the gates, waiting to be let in by security. It's like, okay, just calm down now. Just relax. But a lot of good energy coming out of Philadelphia. That's as of now. If things go toes up on Sunday, I'm glad I'm in Delaware. I don't want to be up there.
Well, again, it's so funny how sports in cities goes in cycles. You just had the Phillies in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got the Eagles one game away from the Super Bowl. I don't know. The Sixers are
decent.
decent. Flyers, I don't know.
Flyers are rough.
I watched, our guy Rob Pepitone, big Flyers guy. He's climbing poles for other reasons because of the Flyers. So, good for them. I'm jealous. What can I tell you? We are in an era right now in Chicago sports, and this came out yesterday as well. This is the worst stretch of Chicago sports in terms of wins and losses.
No question.
Ever we've been in, and that's a long time. Ever. No, it's a long time. Ever. So rough. It's rough.
Indy's the same way. I remember for a while, the Pacers were very, very, very good, and the Colts were very, very, very good, and now it's just, they're both just awful. The Pacers not
By the way,
awful, not great.
What do you think about your former head coach going to coach the Panthers?
Well, I was going to ask Danielle and Larry Mack that. What do they think when we talk to them? Right?
Who got what?
Frank Reich.
Oh,
Frank
he
Reich.
is.
Yeah.
Congratulations. They're going to be terrible still. Like, I mean, seriously, you guys, they talk about, I mean, like, Larry and Danielle talk about the Panthers organization, like how, like you talk about the Washington organization. So clearly hiring Frank Reich is just not going to do it. But the Colts, apparently, there is some talk that they might stick with old Saturday.
Jeff Saturday.
He's Jim Irsay's
People
boy.
are like, what is going on?
If they do that, I will drive to the West 56th Street training complex with a Coke slushie and throw it at the doors. That's what I'll do if they hire Jeff Saturday.
Wow.
Hey,
I'll give this
remember
Coke
me?
slushie.
Yeah, see?
I
Turnabout's
think
fair play, Sammy. Get in there.
he's not a bad. I don't think he's not a bad guy. I don't dislike the man actually, but I don't think he would make a very good NFL coach.
Well, he didn't.
Yeah, right. They did win it. They won one game or not a single game?
I think they won the first game, right? And everyone was like, see, you don't need experience to be a head coach in the NFL. And then they think he lost every game after that.
Yeah, basically. So anyway.
So you got Frank Reich. I think Frank Reich and his brother are coming, and we'll see if two Reichs don't make a wrong.
All right. Just stop. I'm begging you. Please stop.
It's Friday, Baggy. Come on. Roll with it, baby. Roll with it. What else? Snowstorm here for us this weekend, by the way. 6 inches on Saturday. So, salud. Here it comes.
Is it a blizzard? Because it was a blizzard the other day, you said.
Oh, I was a blizzard because I wanted to go to Dairy Queen. I got my terminology mixed up. Sorry.
Did you guys, Petey, get, did your forecast for that blizzard earlier this week kind of fall a little short of what you guys were? So that happened in Indianapolis, too. And there was a weatherman in Indianapolis. His name is Sean Ash, I believe. He's either on like the ABC affiliate or the Fox affiliate down in Indy. He's a weather guy. Dude had to like write a Facebook post being like, hi, yes, I know that like the weather was not exactly what I predicted. He like explained like the reasoning for it. And he was like, also, you didn't get as much snow as we predicted. It's like, that's a good thing, basically. And
right.
Because people are like giving this weatherman like a really, really, really hard time about like being so off. And it's just, I don't know. I get it. Like, it's their job. Oh, they're right. They're wrong half the time and stuff like that. But like, I don't think that's the case, man. And I just felt it was a little weird to see a weatherman like actually post like a long thread about like, I'm sorry, my weather reporting was inaccurate. I mean, kudos to him. A lot of people are saying keep your head up and stuff like that. That a weatherman has to do that now is ridiculous, in my opinion.
Well, Tevin Wooten, when he was on the Weather Channel, first time I ever heard this was from him. He's now on NBC, the NBC affiliate in Boston. Tevin said, now remember, this is guidance, not gospel. He says this will change. You have to preface this for whatever reason. We assume that the weather forecasters are the only humans roaming the face of the earth with 100% accuracy that can power through humanity and the error of our human ways. And that they, when they speak, there is no wiggle room for any deviation. You said it, it has to happen. And if it doesn't, it's like, seriously, they don't know. Hell, we don't know. No one knows. But according to whatever they're looking at, the computer knows. And sometimes the computer screws up.
Sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I give them a hard time.
I don't get worked up about that weather forecast stuff. Listen, if they're calling for a foot and I get 2, I'm thankful.
Well, that's how
that's
I
10
that's how I
less
look
that I
at
got to
it.
shovel.
That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Yeah, we have had, and you know, when WGN television used to be on the Superstation, Tom Skilling has been doing weather here in Chicago for 40 years. As a matter of fact, when I worked at WGN, and I think I've told you the story before, the weather office was right next to where we were. Right? When I worked at WGN in the sports department and I was ushering Bozo Circus and Phil Donahue when I was first starting out, the weather office was right next door. And Tom Skilling couldn't be the nicest. There couldn't be a more nice guy than Tom Skilling. He says all the time, he goes out and people are yelling at him. Mike, on the street. Well, nice job, Tom. You know, you said it was going to rain and it didn't rain. Or I had a picnic, you said it was going to be dry and it rained. You know, sorry. You know, computer guidance is a little better today than it was certainly 40 years ago, but it's not an exact science. So if I come out ahead on it, to your point, it's going to be a foot and I get 2 inches, salute. I'm good with that. I'm okay.
You also ain't going to get a 2-paragraph long mea culpa from any of us if we're wrong
No.
about anything either. So
Kidding me? I don't have time. That's all I'd be doing is writing I was wrong.
Chow, please.
Chow,
You might
please.
work out all that mess. All right, so there's if you looked at my Twitter page this morning, you'll notice I pinned a tweet. There was a question, a picture that came out. And again, go at the Mike Bagley on Twitter. I love pens. I have on my desk On my desk, I would say I've got more pens on my desk than some teachers have in classrooms.
Then Carter has little pills.
I have, and those. I've got pens, pencils, I've got Sharpies, I've got highlighters and flare pens, right? Different colors and all that stuff. Don't judge. I have my system. So, don't judge me. I love pens. So I've got these pens, and then I see this tweet. And it says, you can only write with one type of pen for the rest of your life. Which one are you picking? And there are 7 pen options. And number 7 is mine. I'm curious to know what you guys are with your pen selections as well. Sammy, are you a pen guy?
You see, I am. And as I look at this, I got to say, I can't believe if it's a clicky one or not. I'm not. I got to go with the number 5, the G1. It's like the clicky top. You're right over there.
I'm getting ready to take a picture of this pen carousel.
Take a picture of that pen carousel.
So people can pick it apart on Twitter.
I got to say.
So you're a clicky top, not a twisty bottom?
I got to pull that here in a second.
Clicky
Clicky top for me for sure. I would go with that. If I was going to go with the pull apart on the bottom there, it's got to be the Uniball, the number 1. I'm a big fan of the Uniball. They write well. It's just that they can get a little messy. And as a left-handed person, my hand, when I write with those, it drags through the ink and it gets me like a really bad spot on my hand. And I can't really like, it just gets like, I would get in trouble at school because I'd come home with like ink all down the left side of my hand. And people were like, why are you dragging your hand through stuff? And I was like, well, that's because this is how I write. So I don't use the Uniballs as much. They're a fancier pen. So if my everyday is the number 5 clicky, that G Pilot one, that's the one I got to go with.
Yeah, well, Pete will be back with us here in just a couple minutes, but I know the one, he does number 1. He does the little Uniball roller number 1, and he also writes in like a font of 2. I'm more of a larger writer. I'm a big fan of the Bic. And if you don't have access to Twitter, the one that I use is the old school Bic pen that has the blue cap. Actually, I've got all the colors virtually that they produce. But the one with the blue cap, the see-through that you can see how much ink you have left. I don't know. I'm just a fan of old school roller balls. So chime in on Twitter. I'm curious because if it's anything like anything else, it'll sweep the nation. Because it is the sensation that's sweeping the nation.
Well, they've been doing things like that recently with like, I've seen ones that have different tones of toast, doneness of toast with the levels of toast and stuff like that, and as well as I've seen steaks, and I've also seen cups of coffee, like how much milk and all that stuff you like in the coffee. Petey, take a look at these pen pictures here real quick. What kind of pen person are you?
The one on the right is the one that, if you put that up there, just get out of my house, okay? That one that...
Okay, well, then I guess I'm not coming to Chicago because that is the OG of pens.
I was going to say.
That is the undisputed king of pens.
But you could do better than that. A man of your ilk. Come on. You could do better than that. A man of your ilk. Come on. I like, as I've shown you, the Uniball Fine Point. Black.
Which is number 1, right?
That's number 1. Yes, that's the one I would go with. So...
Rough.
What a box of those cost? Those Bics now about 9 cents.
I wish it's about $9. Take it easy.
I mean, pens are
really. It's $1 a pen. Damn.
I bought Tori some pens as a stocking stuffer for Christmas. I actually bought her the felt tip marker looking one baggie. I believe that's the 6 that's on the picture that you had. She loves those. They were not cheap. I got like 3 of them for like $3.99. It was more than $1 a pen, Pete.
Wow.
Listen, pens are like underwear. It never goes on sale because everybody needs them. It's a necessity.
Well, I don't have holes in my pens either.
or skid marks, but it's a whole other story.
Well, that Uniball has given you some skid marks over the years because I've seen it when those are broken loose. Come off a plane, those things bust.
A pen, the pressure of the airplane, to Mike's point, the ink comes out of those pens. I've learned the hard way a couple of times.
My dad ruined a couple loads of laundry back in the day, leaving a Uniball pen in the old pocket of his shirt or pants after work, and those would go in. And I always felt bad. I didn't feel bad for him. It was his own fault. But it was always like, all of his stuff, and then like one of my sister's really nice sweaters. It was always her stuff that got ruined too, and so it was just he'd pull it out, and it'd be like three pairs of dress slacks covered in blue ink, 3 dress shirts blue ink, my sister's brand new sweater covered in just blue ink that they couldn't get, and it was like, well, good thing I don't wear anything nice.
That's terrible. Like that picture of the pens. There's another one out there, same idea, and it's steak, which way it should be cooked.
Yep.
Right, same idea.
Sammy mentioned there's one with toast.
Toast.
There's
okay,
one with steak.
Yeah. The steak one, I know you like yours a little more done than I do. I'm a rare steak guy. But yeah, the pen.
That's
listen,
nasty.
here's the bottom line. Do what needs to be done for you. If you like that pen on the right, go for it, okay? I don't want it.
But just don't go to the house of the Pistones. By
No.
the way, you talk about rare steak.
Love it.
Chef Scott basically loves to feel the pulse on his tongue of the meat that he's eating. I mean, literally, if you take the cattle out of the barnyard, you cut the horns off, you cut the hooves off, you skin it, you glide it over a flame, and then drop it on the plate, and that's what he wants. That's how he wants to eat. He likes it cool.
No. That's a little.
It doesn't
little
need
much.
to be mooing back.
No, it's a little much. All right, so
That's
we're
nasty.
doing the beef tenderloin tomorrow, as I mentioned, for dinner. So I went and procured one yesterday. Hopefully, I get a few extra shifts on the Big Ten channel to take care of it. But anyway, we're going to cook it in the oven tomorrow, obviously, and we'll use the probe, and we'll go with the temperature, and that'll determine how we're going to cook the tenderloin tomorrow.
Son. I used one of my Christmas gifts for the first time. It is the Meter Plus. It is the probe that goes to your phone.
Oh,
It
my
is-
brother-in-law has that. Did it work?
Spectacular. What
Really?
you do is you pull it out of its little charging case. You put it inside of whatever it is that you need to measure. Like I did chicken breast the other night.
Yep.
You walk through the app, and it'll ask you like poultry, pork, is it beef or whatever. So chicken. Well, what is it? What are you cooking? Chicken breast. You hit that. You put the probe in, and then it'll adjust to the ambient temperature and all that stuff. You hit the button. It'll estimate the cooking time. You'll put it in. If it's meat, it'll tell you when to flip it, and it'll say 5 minutes before it comes out, and then when it comes out, remove from heat. You pull it out, and then you hit the button, and it'll say resting, and then it'll rest till it gets to the appropriate temperature that you set. You can set it for rare, well, whatever. Like it'll give you, like if you're cooking a chicken breast that you want a little juice, 167, right? But it'll count you down to the temperature and time-wise, and also you can see the temperature of what you're cooking. Best thing that I've, because I used to have one of those old school ones that you'd have to look in and see, okay, and if it had some schmutz on it, you wouldn't be able to tell what was going on there.
Yeah,
but
this one that might
got to
be
get stuff one.
All right, well, the one we have, it connects to the oven, so you can at least see it on the panel of the oven, the digital.
Right.
But Matt used that for Christmas, and it worked out fine. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, we'll have to see. So what happens now? What happens now? What if we get this snow, 6 to 9 inches of snow, and our friends can't make it to dinner? Oh well, Shelly and I, forks up, 2 of us,
That's right.
just
Got
by
a lot of
ourselves.
leftovers. Get in there. By the way,
I'm
Todd
thinking.
Gordon says number 5. Crew Chief Uncle Toddy checking in.
Yeah, me and
number
Todd.
5.
Well, that's because Todd's
Uncle
up on the. He's thinking about when he's up on the box. He needs a reliable pen up there, right?
Well, I hope he has some number 5s at Daytona when he's crew chiefing Jimmy Johnson in the
That's
Daytona
what I'm thinking.
500.
Now, when he's hosting late shift, he probably needs a different pen. I think those are 2 different pens for Todd.
All right, coming up, bottom of the hour, headline check number 1. As we mentioned, it is Track President's Day on the channel. Joining us at 7:30, Craig Rust, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Coming up at 8, Brandon Hutchison of Atlanta Motor Speedway. 8:30, Doug Bowles of Indianapolis. Coming up at 8:45, Julie Giese of the Chicago Street Course. Coming up at 9, Ben May of Pocono. 9:15, Michael Printup of Watkins Glen. 9:30, Mike Tatoyan of Dover. Coming up at 10, Frank Kelleher of Daytona. John Yingling of the Milwaukee Mile will join us at 10:15, and the Commander will shut it down with the heavy hitters. Kerry Tharp of Darlington Raceway coming up at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time here on Track President's Day 2023.